Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another episode of the NBA Betting Card Live. I'm, of course, joined by Astaire and Tyler Hicks every Tuesday to talk about the NBA slate. And we've got 8 games tonight to talk about, and that's good. I got to get back in the betting streets after last night's horrible NFL game. But I haven't got to talk to these guys since the holiday weekend. So, Spread, I'll go to you first. How was the holiday weekend? How's NBA been treating you the last few days? And you ready for tonight's slate?
Yeah, NBA's been a lot of fun, right? And I think the NFL, Roger Goodell's, the ratings are just too high. We got to get some people to watch some of these NBA games, right? So that's what he did for us last night by scheduling Chicago versus Minnesota, which gave me plenty of time to catch up on some NBA action. And I'll let you football diehards break that one down on Thursday. But I was happy to enjoy some basketball last night with the product that the NFL presented us with. And today we are back with the in-season tournament, and we have some interesting thoughts here. And so just to give you guys the preview of an ongoing theme on this show is a lot of my projections are liking unders today, but Tyler and I are a little bit worried because the incentive to score and run up the score in the preseason tournament, specifically this Brooklyn Nets game, if Brooklyn and Boston both win, which, the NBA odds like both those teams to win right now, the point differential would decide who advances out of the group here. So kind of some uncharted waters here for us as NBA bettors. I'm going to try and talk Tyler into some unders, but spoiler alert, I don't know how successful I'll be.
And do we have any X marks the spot? I know we're going to go through game by game. You're going to go through your favorite bets, but be sure to check out their betting, the NBA Treasure Map on fanspeak.com under the sports betting tab. NBA Treasure Map has all their projections and picks. Do we have any X marks the spot up
right
yet?
now? Yes, we do.
Okay,
we do like the Brooklyn Nets, and we're going to talk through some others. We have anything that says leans. We're also pretty close to getting there on, but we're going to talk these through with you.
Yeah, I love that.
We have a couple injuries that we're waiting on. If we're get some confirmation the right way, we'll add a couple more there as well. But overall, this is pretty fun. I personally love this tournament. I've heard some people who don't like it. I love it. My only thing that I think I've said this on last week, boy, I wish they would have switched this season to start at December 25th, because if we would have got this in January, when everyone's NFL team was eliminated, right? And we were down to just the playoff games and stuff. And I think it would have got even more attention. But overall, I think it's a good idea, and I'm excited for tonight.
Okay, awesome. Love it. Tyler, how was the Thanksgiving weekend for you? How's the NBA streets been? And you ready for tonight?
Yeah, Thanksgiving was good, and the NBA's been treating us very well. We grinded back from a rough start, right back to pretty much even at this point. I love to hear it. Going in the right direction now, and
exactly
just got to keep grinding and keep going forward. So we're going to keep doing that tonight with these 8 games tonight. And yeah, Spread's right. Spoiler alert, I don't think he's talking me into too many unders, because unders have not treaded well in this in-season tournament, and I don't want to try and be the guy that bucks that trend.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going to look that up right now, actually. Let's see if I can just sort by tournament games against the spread. All right. Well, I'll do that while we go.
You look that up, and we will start going game by game and get these guys' favorite bets. Again, check out the full NBA Treasure Map on fanspeak.com under the sports betting tab. Okay, first game is the Charlotte Hornets at the New York Knicks. Spread, the Knicks are favored by 11.5. Total is 220.5. I'll go to Tyler first, then, since you're looking at up. Tyler, who do you like in this game? What bets do you like in this game? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think the Knicks just kind of run Charlotte off the floor tonight. Charlotte really needs LaMelo Ball out there. He's really all their system. He runs the offense. He does a lot for them. They still have good players, but with him out there, that's when you see that team get to possibly what their ceiling is right now with the talent they have. So he's not going to be out there. He's hurt for a while now with a right ankle injury. Nick Richards is also out, so that's going to put Mark Williams out there a lot by himself. If he gets into foul trouble, they may have to go small, but I think this Knicks team just beats up on him and just pretty much walks him off the floor, probably beats him by double digits. I lean laying the 11.5, but that's just asking for a backdoor. So I don't mind doing like a Randall double-double and win at plus 125. They don't defend point guards very well, and Quickly gets a ton of run off the bench. Quickly 3+ threes and win here is right around plus 200. I love that bet right here, because if they blow him out, he's going to get extra run off the bench.
Sure.
So love those two. And if you wanted to play like a Brunson 25+ and win, be another way I'd approach this game. And
I love those player
of all the
performance doubles. I
of
like
all
it.
the totals, I know I said spread couldn't talk me into many unders, and the trends tell you this one's going to go over. But without LaMelo Ball, I think the Charlotte offense is just going to die. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball that well. They're not going to be as up tempo. I lean under in this game more than over. So if I had to bet a total in this one, I'm on the under.
Okay, so this is the one under you're kind of comfortable with.
Yeah.
Then. Okay. Spread, is this one of the unders that you are comfortable with or that your projections like? And what else do you like in this game?
Yeah, see, this is where it's rough. This was not one of the unders that I like. Normally, we wouldn't even consider laying the 12 here with the Knicks. But of course, with these tournament implications and the Knicks having incentive to run up the score, I would not be surprised to see them cover. Right now, I'm fine staying away from this game. And I think that Tyler had an excellent performance double here. The projections do like the Hornets, but the reason that we're not playing it is because the Knicks will have the incentive to run up the score.
Right. Okay. So maybe approach it from the performance doubles. Love that. Don't mind the under like that. Okay. So next game, we have Atlanta Hawks at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavaliers are favored by 4. Total is 237.5 in this one. Spread, I'll go to you first in this one. Break this one down for me. What do you like?
All right. This was one that I liked the Hawks, but so did the market. And I'm worried they took a little bit of the value away. This opened at Hawks was 5.5. I loved it at that number, but the market agrees as well. It went all the way down to 4, a little bit of buyback, and I'm sitting it here right now at 4.5. This was a game, another one that I did have the under on, and the trend supported that as well here as the total's gone under in 5 of the last 6 when Atlanta played against Cleveland. Atlanta also 6-1 straight up in their last 7 against Cleveland. So you can see why I like taking the points here with the Hawks. And then, of course, going under. The projections and the trends both like it. But, Tyler, what do you think of this one? Do you want to join me here in taking some points with Atlanta?
No, I think it was a complete stay away game for me, to be honest. Cleveland's pretty much back to full strength. They're going to have all their guys. I don't even want to touch that total because I feel like that number's a little wrong and it's a little skewed. 237 is what they average in their last 3 matchups. So I got to look deeper into it. The last game they played it March of last year, 120 to 118. That's a realistic score for tonight with the guys that are out there. Game before that, 136 to 119. That could happen tonight with these guys that are going to be on the floor. Those are both pushing that total over. Then you get to game 3, 114 to 102. That's a game that screams to me that guys had to have sat out on both sides of the ball. With these offensive guards out there that don't play much defense, you're not getting a score like that. So I got to dig more deeper into this, but initially I want nothing to do with that under. The trends, yeah, they tell you to go under, but they average this total in the last 3 games, with one of those games being a very, very low scoring game. So this is one of those games, if you click the under, I feel like you could watch it go into halftime with like a $130 and you pretty much know you're dead before second half even starts. That's my take on the under there. I don't want anything to do with it. Lean the Cavs win the game back at full strength.
Okay, so you're leaning Cavs.
See, we're all opposite all over this game. Just some more trends to support my under here. The Hawks are 5-2-1 to the under on the road this season, while the at home the under has been 5-4 for the Cavs here. The Hawks also 5-3 against the spread on the road this season, while the Cavaliers are 4-5 against the spread at home.
Okay. Tyler, I have to ask you this. Any props you like in this one? Player performance doubles or just props in general?
I mean, I think this could be one of those games where maybe you do like a Donovan Mitchell and Trae Young, do like a 30+ on them.
Mm-hmm.
You could even just try and build the same game parlays with all 4 of the guards and just do like a ladder on their points. Like one guy to score 30, one guy 20, one guy 25, the other guy maybe to hit some threes and see if you can get a crazy same game parlay ticket there. But I do think this game's dominated by the guards. Okay. And the one big I do like is Mobley, because Mobley in that 4 spot against Atlanta's small starting lineup is going to be a mismatch. So they're probably going to have to play both bigs, which is just going to throw them into a whack. Jalen Johnson's out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is a key piece for Atlanta. I think Mobley could have a big game against that front court.
I like that. All right. Anything else on this one, guys, or you want to go on to game number 3?
I'm fine going to game number 3.
All right, on we go.
I found some in-season tournament stats here.
Oh yeah, give it to us before we get to
than
this
I
game.
expected.
Yeah, no, give it to us.
In this in-season tournament, favorites just 19, 32, and 1 against the spread. That's only 37%. And when the favorites are winning straight up, they're covering just 56% of the time, showing that these points seem to be more valuable in the tournament. Right. 44% of the tournament games have finished less than 7 points. 44% there. And non-tournament games, only 35% of the games have had a margin of 7 or less. So I guess a little bit of some information pointing us there towards taking the points. And I would think that these closer games would help out the unders, but I have not found anything on the totals here where it just sorts by ATS. And another thing we also have to talk about on these against the spread, Meg, is that most of the ones that I use, they give you your ATS numbers against the close, right? So, for example, Tyler and I were looking at a couple of the games, mainly the Cavaliers earlier, right? It had the Cavaliers as an against the spread loss because the game closed at 3.5 against Toronto. Right. But Tyler and I bet that game at 2.5, right? So we had an against the spread win with the Cavaliers, right? So sometimes some of these numbers can also be tricky or deceiving depending on where you bet it on the market here. So this is a lot of fun, though, with this tournament. I guess it's not business as usual, right? Some new things here that we have to factor in, and I personally enjoy it.
Alex in chat, thank you for joining us, said, did I miss the talk of the all-time superstar subtraction game with the Heat tonight?
No, that one's coming up here.
Okay.
That's the very next one on our docket, right?
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I didn't know if there was any other superstar subtraction talk, but he was referring to the Heat game. So yes, that is the next one on our docket. So perfect segue. Alex, thank you. And thank you for joining us. And we are going to talk, I believe, the TNT game, the one that's featured on FanDuel. It's one you can make a risk-free bet on FanDuel up to $5. So I, of course, opted in and already did some DGen parlay on that. But you have the Milwaukee Bucks at the Miami Heat. Milwaukee's favored by 4. We've got the total set at 228. So, Spread, do you want to answer that question and break down this game first?
That's right. And we know that superstar subtraction is something that I absolutely love. The idea is that, in the first game or, not an extended absence with the superstar, that the rest of the players get excited about having higher usage. They get to shoot the ball more, which translates to more effort on the defensive end, right? As they get involved a little bit more often. And it's one of those ones where you either feel like a genius or you look absolutely stupid. Like, for example, I did it 3 times with the Warriors last year where they sat absolutely everybody. Okay. And they were like plus 11. I won 2 of the 3 times, right? But the time that I lost, the Warriors lost to the Pelicans by like 30-something points. Right? I mean, it wasn't even close. So it does take a little bit of gumption to place this bet. But I think I'm here. First of all, Miami is one of the best teams at home. I told Tyler I don't want to bet Miami at home. I don't want to take the road team unless it's 7 or more points. I'm getting +4 here with the Heat. To me, it's Heat or pass, but Tyler is going to be absolutely opposite. Tyler, tell me why you think that the superstar subtraction is not going to work here with Duncan Robinson taking over a majority of the scoring impetus for the Miami Heat.
I mean, this is the NBA we're talking about, Spread, right? Mm-hmm. So this is basically WWE. So storylines galore.
With CM Punk return last night.
Look who's playing each other right now. Milwaukee and Miami. The 2 teams that all offseason, well, one of these teams all offseason was supposed to just walk into a Damian Lillard trade. One of these teams swooped in and stole him from the other one. One of these teams' superstars already pouted and says his ankle's hurt and he's not playing tonight. The guy who was supposed to be traded for Damian Lillard's also out. So, the guy who was motivated to come out here and drop 30 on the Bucks won't be there either. The Bucks seem to have caught in their stride. They've won, 7 of their last 8. The only losses to Boston, who's probably the best team in the NBA. They lost by 3 points. I think they just roll into Miami. Giannis makes a statement, says, hey, I stole your guy from you, and he's with me now. And they just beat up on the Heat. They don't play great defense. Milwaukee doesn't. And they're going to give up a ton of threes, so I could see this game staying close. But at -4, I'm on the Bucks. I think they handle the Heat pretty easily tonight.
Oh, no. Another one with you guys on opposite sides.
This is why we have problems. I think we were opposite when we were doing the sheet right before we came on. I think we were opposite on everything except for the
guys out there on
the
the floor tonight for Miami. Who's motivated to go play the Bucks because they were in trade talks all offseason to get Dame Lillard? Bam Adebayo? No. Tyler Hero's out. Jimmy's not playing. Jaime Jaquez wasn't getting traded because he wasn't eligible. Haywood Highsmith? Yeah, that was going to be a key piece in the trade. Kyle Lowry? Oh, boy, they were really drooling over getting him in the trade. Like, there's no one out there motivated by this. So it's Milwaukee.
You don't need motivation, Tyler, when you have hashtag Heat culture.
Yeah.
Heat
and that's what we're going to be hearing about tonight. When the Miami Heat go ahead and get this done.
If you're going to bet the Heat, you got to do it through like a Bam performance double, I think.
Okay. I was going to say, give you the performance double.
Like a great price because he's gonna have to do something crazy for them to win, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, this is why you guys are a good team.
I bet you Bam
together.
double win is going to be at least like 2 + 270, Tyler.
Bam double.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's looking it up. This is why you guys are a good team because you balance. Like you said, you don't put everything. You don't bet to bet. You make sure that you guys are fully seeing the edges and you guys balance each other out.
Yeah,
you may not agree on everything.
Double and wins +230.
Yeah, you almost nailed
Bam
it.
25 and win is +370. He also would probably play that the high post where they're just going to run the 3-point shooters around them spread. Which probably leads to a ton of assists. Bam 7+ assists and they win.
Wow.
+780. Kyle Lowry 4+ threes and they win at 12-1. Like one of these is going to have to hit if they win the game because someone's going to have to go off and it's going to be a high scoring game.
Right. Okay. I like that. I got my props.
Trends are pointing to the over here, Meg. Total's gone over in the last 5 games when these two teams have faced.
I don't hate the triple.
These are regular season games, though. When I give out these trends, I take out the playoffs.
Okay, so Tyler said he doesn't mind the triple-double?
Triple-double?
Yeah, I don't hate that.
How much is that?
Has he ever had 10 assists all season?
He's done it already this year. He's triple-double.
He has?
He has?
Oh, my.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you, Spread. You were saying about trends to the over?
Oh, I was just saying, this trend towards the over, but keep in mind, I've read out a couple trends here. These are going to be for regular season only. Mm-hmm. For example, I'll give out a Warriors Kings trend, but that's regular season only coming up.
Okay. So anything else for this game? Because you guys are on opposite sides.
I mean, this is the official DM game of the day, right? Where Tyler and I are on opposite sides, and one of us gets to run bragging rights.
Yeah, I like the one where you asked if you could delete your messages after you sent something.
What game was that I was
that was when I told you we're taking Indiana against Milwaukee because Milwaukee couldn't close games. And you messaged me with like 6 minutes to go when Indiana was down like 4 points. And you're like, why did we bet this? Indiana sucks. And my response was, there's 6 minutes left. Milwaukee's going to blow this game. And they blew it.
Oh, yeah, you wrote, Milwaukee can't close in all caps.
And Tyler was right, and Spread wanted to delete his messages. So
well, hopefully Tyler will be the one deleting messages tonight.
So hopefully you're
money, Tyler. Hopefully it'll be done, and I'm gonna go get a cheesesteak with that money tonight, Tyler. I'm gonna splurge if they win.
There you go.
I'm just betting the triple-double. I'm into this. So you know me. I like these like long shot parlays and basketball to have a little fun. All right. So we covered Bucks Heat. Now let's go to Bulls Celtics. Bulls are at the Celtics. This big spread here, -13, or Celtics are favored by 13. Total is 219.5. So Spread, how do you see this one, or how do you handle in this one?
Some interesting trends here for the Bulls here. Chicago is 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 in Boston and 8-1 overall in their last 9 against Boston. However, because of the discontent, I'm not sure the right word there, around that Chicago locker room, though, I think it's really hard to back them in this situation. We know that Zach LaVine is on the move. When you're doing, potential trade targets for your favorite team right now, the Bulls are the team that everybody's targeting, as people seem to think this will be the team that's going to get blown up here. And until they get this kind of figured out here, I think Chicago is a fade. However, I believe the market's agreed. I have this one at 11, and they put it at 13. So
Right.
I think that they've accurately kind of encapsulated with those extra 2 points, kind of this miscontent here. And at 13, normally I would say, okay, this is a spot where the back door could be open. And Alex Noops in the chat, I'm going to use some of his stuff here, because he sent all the situations to me. I'm going to look that up right now. He put it in one of our chats. And Tyler,
okay.
break down this game, and I'm going to see
Yeah,
if
I was
Boston.
gonna say, Tyler, give me your thoughts.
Once you get the exact stuff on that.
Yeah, and they do. So yeah, this is from what he sent, that they do have incentive to run up the score.
Yeah, but
because
they have
the
to win by
Celtics
what, like
could be the wild
24?
card if they win. Go ahead.
Don't they have to win by like 24?
Well, it would depend on how much the Knicks and Heat win by.
Okay.
And the Bucks. Oh, I guess the Bucks would have to win. So for the Celtics to be in there, you'll have to be right, Tyler, about that Bucks game.
Yeah. For me for this game, I think Boston is going to win. It's a 13-point spread, so I mean, very hot take there. But I don't think they run up the score. Like, I wouldn't go running to bet like an alt spread of 22.5 or 20, because is this Boston team really care for the in-season tournament? Like, we haven't seen them like go out there like how the Lakers have, spread. Like, they haven't done anything to where like the Lakers go out there in these in-season games, and like we watched them when they played the Jazz that one Friday. That looked like a playoff intensity they hit the floor with.
Yeah.
They want to win. I think Boston's looking to March. They're worried about the other trophy that they let slip out of their hands last season, or a chance to get it and play Denver. They can care less for this in-season tournament trophy. I think they just get in, get out with a win. Porzingis is out. I see Holiday's questionable. Caruso and Levine are questionable. I really don't see any reason for them to run up the score. Probably win the game by like 8 points. I leaned their team total over at 116.5, but looking back at the scores and what they've done recently, I couldn't pull the trigger on that.
Yeah,
He
and
just
Nips
gave
is in the chat here.
Yeah.
And he says the Celtics have a point differential of 0. The others are at least plus 15.
Oh, yes.
Boston's in a tough spot because that will be the wild card spot. And he says Magic win the group if the Nets lose. Nets win the group if they win and Celtics lose. If Nets and Celtics both win, we go into a 3-way tie between the Nets, Celtics, and Magic that is determined by point differential. But see, they already have that 15-point deficit there. So they would not only have to make up 15, but the amount of the victories tonight. So
I feel like this in-season tournament, like as a whole, means something to the teams that are somewhat good but aren't championship caliber yet. A team like Milwaukee, who started rough because they added new pieces and they want a playoff intensity to get those guys ready for the playoffs. And a team like the Lakers, just because LeBron wants to be the first to do it. Everybody else, I think, is just like, cool, they color the courts for us on Tuesdays and Fridays. Like, I think they can care less. Like, your Denvers and your Boston, I think they can literally care less about an in-season tournament.
Right. Okay.
What do you think about that spread? Do you think they all care? I mean, I just think some of those higher teams can just there's one trophy at the end of the year that actually matters, and it's not this
one. Yeah, I
you ain't getting those fancy rings Denver got on banner night for
it's
this.
Weird. It's like in my head, I agree with you, but then the results where these games have been closer kind of show that maybe we're discounting them. Right? I mean, 44%
like you said,
to 35% finishing within 7.
Yeah. I also think it's a little bit. I'm not going to say it's similar to the bubble because yes, they're still traveling and they're not locked in a place. But like you've seen it in the bubble spread, like everyone cared at the beginning, and then like certain teams looked around and they're like, we can care less. Like checked out, we're done. Like I think that could happen with the in-season tournament. You take a loss on a Tuesday and a Friday, and you look around. It's like, well, we're not making the final stage to go to Vegas, so these games don't mean to us anymore.
But that's why I like it. That's why I think it's cool because it's still a regular season game.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Alex in chat, he's been dropping a lot of good little nuggets. Don't overthink it. Isn't
In-season tournament.
In-season tournament. Okay, success because it's created games October, December that they are taking seriously. All right.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good point there. I just feel
I love it.
Yeah, I feel like
I think I really look forward to it. You know, it sucks when we do our show tomorrow, Tyler. It feels like I get so hyped up for tonight's game, and then it makes Wednesday feel kind of blah, right? Like the hangover.
There's certain teams when they play on Wednesdays, you can just instant fade them.
Really?
Yeah. Like the Lakers.
I already looked at tomorrow's slate. It's kind of interesting. Like the Lakers are.
Lakers play tomorrow. What are they laying? Who are they playing?
I don't know if I have numbers for that game yet because I know they put them up offshore a little later. Let me see.
They're playing Detroit, so they're going to be laying like 14 points. Give me Detroit plus the points.
Oh, we can't take Detroit at this point. I'm not doing that again.
We really think LeBron cares about a game in Detroit when he's got to go to Vegas for this in-season tournament soon and win that? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we are getting them at home. Yeah, I don't have any numbers for tomorrow's games yet.
Okay, well, check out these guys on Nuke the House tomorrow. I'm lucky to have them every Tuesday to talk NBA. And then, of course, Thursdays, check us out on the NFL betting card at 3:00. And I have to say, a special news show. Steve's in the chat talking basketball with you guys, but he had a massive, massive short slate hit, winning $50,000, $70,000 total. So Fanspeak now has a short slate show every Thursday. We're leaning into this. We are leaning into this. No, but honestly, Steve and I mean, our parent, my dad plays too, but like always have loved short slate, and have had decent success on short slate. But I would say, taking down the $15 tournament and a $70,000 short slate, and then he won $7,000 on Thanksgiving. That's a hell of a run out. So we are doing a short slate show every Tuesday at 2:00 before our NFL betting card at 3:00 every Thursday at 2:00, a short slate show to break down an early look at early only, afternoon only. And then we'll go right into, I'll be with these guys every Thursday at 3:00 to break down the NFL betting card. Also, there will be a short slate article for both early only and afternoon only up by every Saturday morning. So look for that new little fun feature, and I love it. All right, back to basketball. We are moving on. Toronto Raptors at the Brooklyn Nets. Nets are favored by 2. Total is 222.5. Spread, who do you like in this game?
Meg, I have great news for you. We finally agree. Tyler and I both like the Nets here.
Yay, all right.
The projections like the Nets and the trends like the Nets. Brooklyn 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 against Toronto. Brooklyn's also just 6-1 against the spread, last 7 at home, which does not surprise me because overall this season, Brooklyn is the second against the spread here at 12-3-1 overall against the spread, 7-1-1 against the spread. Remember, most of these numbers that I give out are against the closing number. So your mileage might vary, right? So sometimes I say, how are they against the spread? Oh, because we bet it early and it closed something different here.
Right.
But overall, it's just showing you that, if you've been back in the net so far this season, you have been rewarded. And why not? Then we go to the Toronto Raptors, who are 9-7-1 against the spread. So not terrible here, right? Not an auto fade, but definitely we're getting a team that's performed better against the number so far this season. The only other thing was I like the under in this game. The trend supported it. They've gone 4 of their last 5 under when the two teams have faced each other. But Tyler pointed out, if you want to trend battle me, both Brooklyn and Toronto have gone over in their most recent games. Then, of course, we have the tournament uncertainty with the teams, right? Brooklyn, one of those teams here. Maybe some incentive to keep shooting here and not running out the clock there when the last 3 minutes, making the under more treacherous. But we agree we're both on the Nets. That's placed.
All right, I like it. We're locked arms on this one. So Tyler, he already said you like the Nets. Anything else you like in this game?
Yeah, I mean, like the Nets, I think it's a good matchup for them. Toronto on the road. It's a weird matchup for them once they leave Toronto. And it's also like they're playing a mirror image of themselves. Like the point guard situation on both sides. Dinwiddie or Schroeder. Yeah, nitpick a couple things that they're both better at, but they're kind of the same player. You get to the next couple spots. The Gary Trents, the DFSs, like hand in hand. The Scotty Barnes and the Siakams to the Mikal Bridges and the Cam Johnsons. Yeah, Siakam's probably better than Cam Johnson, but they kind of all do pretty much the same things. Then you get to the center spots, Podol and Claxton. Kind of the same players again. So I think it's literally playing a mirror image of themselves. So a matchup where I could see either team, like me and Spread went through it. It's like, how do we lose this bet? It's like, well, the Nets offense just doesn't hit their shots. They go cold. Well, Toronto could easily do the same thing. They both play very good perimeter defense, which makes me kind of lean towards the under with Spread.
Yeah, I like the under here just off the matchup. They both, you look at these rosters and both the teams look like they can put the clamps on each other.
Okay. I agree. But
I like Scotty on Mikal, and on the other side, I like Mikal on Scotty, right? And
okay.
We talked about this. A little more size here for the Raptors, but Tyler made the great counterpoint when we were discussing this earlier. A little more shooting here on the Nets side.
Yeah, so in the end, I think the Nets do prevail, win the game. They're a younger team, probably fight for a playing spot. I think they're one of the teams that would love to take a trip to Vegas and play in this in-season tournament. Give the young guys some playoff experience. I know Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson have played in the finals, but some of those guys haven't even played in the playoffs yet. So let's get those guys in there.
Sure.
I think they win the game. Toronto's played decent in these in-season tournament games, and they've kept games close. It's a short spread. I'm on Brooklyn here.
So I like that you guys are both locked on Brooklyn. I'll be sure to bet that tonight. With that said, Tyler, since it's a closer spread, that kind of makes you like props a little bit. However, then if you like the under, maybe not. So are you interested in any props?
No, I'd probably stay away from this game.
Because of the potential under and because they could clamp down.
Potential under, they could clamp down. The offenses could just sputter along. And these teams, like Mikal Bridges gets a lot of shots. But at the same time, he's not always the top scorer for Brooklyn. Like, guys have games around him. Siakam, same thing. Like, gets the most shots, not always the highest scorer. You can't always, like, with other teams, you kind of, you could funnel in where the props, you can hit them.
Right.
These two teams, I feel like at any night, one of the other guys could go off. And I don't want to sit there and try and nitpick that.
Oh, this feels like a fun game then where you could take a top scorer at, like, longer odds.
Yeah,
the top scorer bet, I mean, I don't know which one you'd like the most in this game, but, there are some of those games where it's like, ooh, it's really tough to see any guy outscoring one of the stars. But in this game, you could
like Cam Johnson at 9-1. I don't hate.
Right. Like a situation like that. Okay. I was going to say,
Lonnie
who would
Walker's
you lean at?
Played very well for
Yes.
Brooklyn off the bench. He's 37-1 to lead the game in scoring. And what could be a low scoring game where like 15-20 could lead the game.
That's true. That's wild to think about. But yeah, 37-1. That's pretty interesting.
So some of those longer shots I don't hate.
Yeah, those are the only times I
Lonnie Walker quietly turning into an impressive NBA player.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lakers are actually missing him more than I factored in when we're doing our offseason.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have kept him.
I mean, it's easy to say now because they've dropped off a little bit on their supporting cast, and he's played excellent here for Brooklyn.
Okay, well, we got the guys locked on Brooklyn. We got a few little fun props that we talked through. Now we got 3 games to go. Let's move on to Oklahoma City Thunder at Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are favored by 3, total 229 in this one. So who do you like in this one spread?
And this is the game of the night from a fan's perspective, too. The most up-and-coming teams here in the NBA that have made major leaps here to the top of the standings. And, of course, the trends, like both teams in this one, as both teams have been playing excellent. And Oklahoma City, 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games on the road. But don't look now, Minnesota's 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 at home. So the trends aren't going to help you at all. My projections have the T-Wolves by about 3.5. This game's sitting here at 3. It is a tournament game. Minnesota, could clinch here with a win, I believe. If Alex is still in the chat, he knows all this stuff. But just on the matchup, I do think that I like the T-Wolves here with their size to get things done. And, of course, the duel between two of the probably MVP candidates in the next 3 or 4 years. Won't be surprised to see these two top guys here, A1, Anthony Edwards, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They should be giving it the scoring, but I think that the supporting cast that Edwards has is going to be a little bit stronger tonight. And Holmgren, while he's been excellent this season, this could be a tough matchup here going against the wily vet Rudy Gobert, who don't look now. It's kind of put himself back in that top 5 defensive player after really not looking good last year. I mean, I remember last year that Walker Kessler trade looked so bad because Kessler was outplaying Gobert, but Gobert seems to be back to where he was when he was anchoring that Jazz defense, and that's been what the T-Wolves have needed behind the strength of that new improved defense. And I like Anthony Edwards a little more than Shea at home. I'm going to take the T-Wolves -3. Tyler, right now we have this as a lean. We said we'd talk about it on the show. Can we make this an official play?
Yeah, I think we should. The more I look at it, like okay. I don't think Chet can find an easy spot tonight. Like he's played very well, but it's like Cat, not the best defensive player, does a lot of weird stuff off the floor. But I think that's those two just up front is just gonna be a weird matchup for him. Naz Reid off the bench, he's not gonna have an easy day with him either. That's a physical player. And it's got to guard SGA tonight though with no McDaniels because if not, SGA is gonna go off. And should get to the bucket easily against this OKC team, though. They're at home. I think they win the game. My one worry, though, is have they played since last year's spread? I don't think so.
These two teams?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, the last game they matched up against each other last year was when Minnesota knocked OKC out for the 8th seed. So
I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, some added motivation there for OKC to come in here and win this game.
Alex dropped this spread. Says Kings win the group if they defeat Golden State. Golden State wins the group if they beat Kings and T-Wolves lose. If Warriors and Timberwolves win, 3-way tie between Warriors, Timberwolves, and Kings determined by point differential. He's got all the good nuggets. I like it.
Yeah, and thank you for doing that because otherwise I would have just been reading it out of our chat from this morning. Tyler, they have not played yet this season, so you're right. This will be the first time they played since Minnesota knocked OKC out. And if I remember, OKC was really popular there, right? And we were on Minnesota, and that was an easy win, right? Yeah, it wasn't even close. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question about Ant? So I was betting his props like a couple weeks ago, and it felt like he was ice cold. And then I think against your Kings, I bet him and Fox, and they both got there for me. Was he like in a cold streak and then like totally out of the slump now, or what's going on? I mean, as someone who doesn't really fully dial into NBA until after the Super Bowl, I just was wondering what was going on with Ant's shooting.
Do you have his game logs pulled up, Tyler?
I can pull them up in a second.
You could probably find the window of time where I was betting him and frustrated because I remember I
know he dealt with an injury at some point.
Okay.
Like a small, I think it was like a small.
It was pretty recent, but then recently he seemed like he's been like on fire. And again, I know luckily I caught the good side of that recently as well. So I was just wondering if you kind of knew kind of when he exactly broke out of slump and if you felt like he's definitely kind of locked in now.
I also had a nice edge to the under here that Tyler did not want to play here. I had it at 219.5 here on a 228.5.
Okay.
His concern, of course, is that either team's trying to run up the score.
Right.
My counter was that with both teams, I believe the Thunder are still alive, right? Regardless, I do think that there'll be more of a playoff feel, and maybe that leads this game to go under.
Okay. So these guys are
there.
Okay, so you like the under, Tyler, not so sure, but you both like Minnesota, and you're adding that as an official play to the NBA treasure map. Love it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Oh, did you pull up his game logs, Tyler?
Yeah, I was looking at him. I see a couple games where he shot bad from the field, but he still was able to put together 20 points. So my guess is that was the games you were betting on.
Yes. Was it like 2 or 3 in a row?
That was right around. He dealt with that little lingering injury.
Okay.
He has those shooting moments where he shoots bad and then he bounces back.
Okay. But yeah, he's been back. I mean, he's been doing well the last few games, right? Yeah. Okay. So any performance doubles that, spread, we're waiting for spread to come back. Any performance doubles that you like, especially in this one?
I like Cat double and win at 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the Ant Edwards 25+ points and win. If you want to go with the 30+ and win, you can go up to that.
Right.
Cat 25+ points and win at +210 because he's been playing out of his mind. If you want to do the 3+3s on him, you can do that route too. That's 3-1. And I mean, if you wanted to go all the way up to 35 with Ant Edwards, I don't hate it at +580 because he should get to the rim at ease against his front court. And I could see a guy like him looking at Chet and being like, I'm getting a poster tonight and I'm dunking on this guy.
All right. I like it. Well, I think we covered this one. Again, this is now official play for the guys on Minnesota. So let's go over to Houston Rockets at the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks are favored by 4. Total is 228.5. So spread, what are you thinking for this one?
I know everybody likes Houston here. But Tyler and I think that this one we need to wait for the injury news. And normally I think that sometimes injury news can be a little bit overrated here. As you know, I'm a fan of superstar subtraction. But in here, I think it means everything. And the person we're waiting on, surprisingly, is a rookie center. Rookie centers rarely make
this don't classify as superstar subtraction here. This is rookie subtraction.
I know, no, I mean it's not necessarily superstar subtraction, but with Lively in there, he solved all the problems they need at big. He's athletic, he rolls well.
Just look at the guys behind him that got to come slot in now if he's not there, and the way that they rotate. It just him being in there covers up so many holes. It's like when an NFL team. It's like when San Francisco lost Trent Williams. It's like he's so good he patches up the offensive line, and all of a sudden he went out and it was like, well, this guy sucks. That guy can't do this. This guy can't do that. Like Lively went out. Like Dallas was still able to win that game against the Lakers, but you seen it in that fourth quarter. It was all perimeter shots and nothing was falling. They couldn't get to the rim. They couldn't buy a second chance bucket because they couldn't get a rebound. What do you think Shane Goon's going to do here in the front court? Like, this is double central for him. I think it's the spot you could ladder his rebounds because normally his rebounds come in kind of low for a center. Right. Like, normally you're getting like an 8.5. Let's see what he's at. He's 10.5 this game at plus 104. His 12.5's plus 155. His 14's plus 340. His 16's 7-1. I'll probably bet all three of them if Lively's out.
Okay. And you obviously like his double.
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay, perfect.
And Alex jumped in here and said that the Houston Rockets win the group if they win their game tonight. If the Rockets lose, the Mavericks win, and they are 4.5-point favorites. The New Orleans Pelicans will win the group. So that one's kind of fun. That's pretty simple, right? We can understand that. We don't.
Yeah, it's simple. Win, you win. If you lose, you're out.
Okay.
Yeah, and we know who comes in too. So that's interesting here. My projections like the Mavericks, but if Lively's out, there's no way I want to play that. And a lot of smart people I know are in Houston. Right now, I'm fine staying away from this, but I'll be tempted to kind of – I hate doing this, going against the sharp money, but tempted to play the Mavericks here.
Houston can defend them pretty well, too. Like, you throw Tari Eason, Luka's way, that kind of limits him.
I don't know. I mean, nobody stops Luka, right? And
Nobody stops him, but you get a bigger physical player on him that can kind of body him, keep him out of the paint a little bit, force him to rely on that jump shot. He's playing with a banged up hand, so that could limit this team a lot too.
Yeah.
Kyrie's pretty hit or miss if he's not making shots.
I mean, Kyrie, the main thing that the main opponent he struggles against is critical thinking.
Yeah.
And I don't see that on the Houston squad, so he should have a big night tonight.
Like Jalen Green started to catch fire. Looking on the Dallas side, I don't see many guys that can cover him.
Yeah, like Derrick Jones against him?
I don't think so. I mean, they can both jump out of the gym, but like, I don't think that's where he matches up because if Lively's up, Derrick Jones is going to have to get in the paint. Like, he's not going to be the big, but he's going to have to get down there and try and rebound. Or Shane Goon's going to look like Jokic when he plays the Suns in the playoffs last year.
And that's a possibility. If Lively's out, Shane Goon's going to have such a big game.
He is going to dominate this game if he's out.
So I think you wait on that news. I take Houston if Lively's out. Consider the Mavericks if he's in.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
but with that broken hand, I mean, maybe I'll just scratch the Mavericks off.
If Lively's in, I'm just staying away from the game.
Gotcha.
If Lively's out, we play Houston.
Yes. Okay. Like, I'm not jumping to Dallas if he's in because of the Luka hand situation. I don't want to get on them. And
that's what worries me.
Yeah. Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. I think that's a good way to approach it. And that game starts at 8:40 Eastern then. So look for news on that. That takes us to our last game at 10:10 Eastern. Your Sacramento Kings spread. We got Golden State at your Sacramento Kings spread. Or the Kings are favored by 1.5. Total is 238. So spread, break down your team. You like them to win tonight?
It's Tyler, right? So we talked about rematches from the playoffs earlier. I mean, I guess it wasn't from the playoffs, but it was a playoff light game there with the Thunder and the T-Wolves. kind of a similar situation here, but I do believe that we played them once
They already got their revenge game out of the way though. But I'm pretty sure Steph won it anyway.
Yeah, we lost the revenge game, didn't we?
Yeah, I think Steph could have had another classic game against you guys.
And then, so my concern here is tonight's the night that Draymond comes back. And to me, the Warriors have not looked good at all. And I think he's going to make everybody look better. He does so much for that team. First of all, better defense allows them to get out in transition. Where every team looks better in transition in the NBA, right? So you notice those offensive ratings are so much higher in transition compared to the half-court sets. I think the Warriors go from being really just this middle-of-the-pack team to one of the best teams in the Western Conference is loaded, but all the teams are flawed. All the top teams are flawed in the West. So now the Warriors can kind of join that top group of flawed teams. I guess except for the Nuggets healthy, but even then they lost Bruce Brown. Unfortunately, here I hate this. My projections like the Warriors to win this game. Tyler, what do you think, man? I think Kings are -2, and I have the Warriors winning this by 1.
I'm on the Warriors. With Draymond back, I think it's just like you guys are good against like the other teams. Like this is a good matchup for you guys because they like to run too. But like Steph's just the ultimate. Like I'm just gonna pour in 40 here, and Fox could do what he wants, but he ain't gonna beat me in the end because I'm the better player. So I just gotta lean Warriors. I think Steph just has one of those crazy good games. His 30-plus points and wins plus 210. That's my way of approaching this game. If you're worried and you're 50-50 on the game and you're like, I just want to watch this, but for some reason you want to bet it, this is the way to bet it. And literally, I don't see how you don't walk out of this bet unless one of the players gets hurt. Because I think both of these cashes, either way their team wins. You would either win $10 or you'd win a whole unit. You bet the Sabonis double and win for Sacramento at plus 110, and you bet the Curry 30+ and win at plus 210.
Gotcha.
Unless Sabonis
see which one cashes. Yeah.
Unless Sabonis turns his ankle, I think he's getting double-digit rebounds and 10 points here. And if the Warriors are going to win, Steph's going to have to go off because everyone else around him cannot score right now.
Okay.
And the last point for the Warriors here is, some of my draft takes have been on point, right? I said the Kings should have drafted Şengün. Instead, we drafted Davion Mitchell. Don't we wish we could have that one back, Tyler? But you know which draft take that's aging very poorly? Remember how upset I was about passing on Jaden Ivey?
Yeah, he don't look good.
And we got Keegan Murray, who plays the most, I don't know if it's the most important, but it's the most coveted position in the NBA because wings, they're like cornerbacks in the NFL, right? Man, you can never have too many.
Right.
You can never have two defensive lineman corners, wings in the NBA. And Keegan Murray has been an excellent wing. And quietly this year, he's moved into the top half of defenders in the league while improving his three-point shot. Finally, Mike Brown gave him kind of the impetus to start creating a little bit more on offense and not just being a catch-and-shoot player. So he was helping the second unit. Now he's out tonight.
Yep.
That's the final. If he was in, I think I might have been able to talk myself into the homer pit. Right? We're at home. We do have a good home court advantage.
Because he would also be the one chasing Curry around. So you got an actual defender on him.
Right? Or just giving anyone problems, right? If Kuminga gets hot, he can slow down Wiggins.
Yeah. Pick
he
a
absorbs
the team. It ain't Kuminga getting hot spread.
Do you remember when I told you Kuminga was better than Jalen Green?
Yeah. When you talked about draft picks not aging well. People really need to look at all right, Golden State, yeah, they drafted the dynasty 9-10 years ago and it won them a bunch of championships. And every draft pick they made since sucked. Moses Moody is the slight light bulbs halfway on, halfway out, dim spot that might brighten up if you tap it a little bit. Kuminga, bust.
No, he's gonna be fine.
And no, everyone's just Kuminga's such a great athletic player, and he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, and then he gets out there and you watch him, and it's is he gonna do any of this stuff? He never does it. It's just always he's got the potential. We'll end up doing. He's the better player than Jalen Green on that G League team. Like, I don't see it with him. Then they draft Pods, who's just a 3-point hucking machine. And everyone in Golden State's like eyes just lit up when he started shooting threes. They were like, "Oh my God, it's Steph Curry all over again." Like so we need to start talking about their draft selection spread.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask one question about tonight's game. Aren't you concerned about Golden State's like on the road record, or are they still on the road trending? Is that still the trend that they play poorly on the road?
It hasn't turned out this year.
No? Okay.
That's why right now. It hasn't been terrible.
James Wiseman. We didn't even bring him up. Spread Noops.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Another bad pick they made. They took James Wiseman.
Okay, so of those worst picks, I would say Thabit #1, Darko 2, and Wiseman 30.
Was so bad. He was so bad. I remember Thabit at UConn when DeJuan Blair flipped him on his head.
I read that Darko, like when he got here, he had never like even heard of the idea of a strip club and spent so much money in there. He just thought it was like the greatest thing. He was like the original Harden.
How good were the Pistons that year that they
Harden?
They took the second pick in the draft and they looked at it and they said, "Throw this in the trash. We're just gonna go win the championship anyway."
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, imagine if they would have taken.
Do you think they still win it if they draft Melo?
Yeah, why not? Because he was a rookie, and they would have been able to.
You don't think maybe like that would have like messed up a little bit of like the Tayshaun Prince situation? I feel like
I think he would have been fine. It probably would have been better for him to go into a situation with those veterans.
Oh my God, yeah, he would have had. They wouldn't have won one. They would have probably won the next year too if they would have had a young guy.
Yeah, I think it would have been good for him overall. Quick look at the Warriors here.
Yeah, I was wondering the trend because I knew that was like the trend of.
So this year it's been opposite.
Okay.
When we're talking ATS at home this year for the Warriors, let me get this right. The Warriors are 0-8-1 against the spread at home this year. When normally the Chase Center has been just money.
Right.
5-3 ATS on the road. Remember, these are against the closing numbers.
This is why I'm asking. I did not know that. Okay.
Fred, we got to add one name to that worst #2 pick overall list.
Bagley.
Yep, you already knew who it was.
I hate him so much.
Marvin Bagley.
I still hate him. And his dad.
And his dad. All right, so you guys are definitely on the Warriors. You don't mind.
So we add this one, Tyler? We're going to make it official?
I think we should.
Let's do it.
Spread, are you, I mean, that I want you to see the beam light up, but I also want you to win money.
He makes money tonight, Meg, or he gets to be happy because his team won.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do get to see the beam on my ride home, which is pretty cool. It's bright now. They hooked that thing up.
Okay.
I try to get a good picture, but I'm driving and I'm by myself.
So I was gonna say one time you posted one recently.
Yeah, it was a little blurry.
What's going on?
Yeah, I was driving. That probably wasn't the best idea.
All right, guys. Well, is it best bet time for you guys? You guys ready to get to the best bets? All right.
Oh, Tyler, are we doing money line or +2 here on this Warriors bet?
+2.
All right.
Just in case.
I'm fine with that.
All right. So we have covered the 8 games. Again, check out their NBA treasure map up on fanspeak.com under the sports betting tab. Check us out, NFL betting card at 3 p.m. on Thursday. But now it's time for their best bets for tonight and this 8-game slate. You might steal each other's, but that's okay. I'll go to you first, Spread. What is your best bet of tonight?
We agree on enough, Tyler. I'm going to take the favorite one that we have, though. I want the Brooklyn Nets at home against the Toronto Raptors. We talked about how the Nets match up so well. One more time, Brooklyn 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 against the Raptors. I think they make it 6 tonight. I'm riding the trend. I'm riding the streak. I'm taking the Brooklyn Nets.
All right. Nets it is for Spread and Tyler, too. But, Tyler, what is your best bet of tonight?
Yeah, there's a lot we agree on. They get that for free over on the Fanspeak site. But we've had a little.
You're gonna go against me.
We've had a
fun
thing going here, Meg, called Deal With It picks, and Spread's made a couple Deal With It picks that I had to deal with because he's got to get his side. He got a couple of them right, got a couple of them wrong. It's my turn now. Milwaukee Bucks -4.
Oh
no!
Deal with it, Spread. There you go.
Oh man, the glasses. We need to gift the glasses going down.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so you got you got Brooklyn from Spread. You've got Milwaukee from Tyler. That's the one that you guys will be texting each other about later. Whoever comes out on top. The other one
Tyler's going to be the lead messages tonight.
The other one will be
Dame Lillard 5+ threes, and they win that game against the Heat plus 320.
Ooh.
He's going to be like, you guys should have just traded the house for me. Time to drop 40 on you guys.
I always love a good narrative, a good reason to bet it. I like it. All right, final thoughts, Spread, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun tonight. I personally love the in-season tournament. And just to tease a look ahead, make sure you tune in on Thursday because that's when we get to have the handicap match against Tyler when we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And I read your message. I thought I had sent you something back, Meg. I guess it didn't go through. But
okay.
We're going to be on the same side there against Tyler.
So it's you and me against Tyler,
right?
Okay,
it's not me against the world. It's going to be Tyler against the world.
It's Tyler against the world. Okay. I'm gonna rewatch back.
It's me and that guy who just beats every other quarterback that everyone thinks is good and is going to win MVP this year, Mr. Jalen Hurts.
I was gonna say Dak Prescott's not in that game.
I was gonna say Dak is not played in that game.
I had a friend who was teasing me about drafting Dak in the 5th round in our fantasy league.
Hurts just plays down to his competition. He wants all the other teams to have a chance, and then he just beats them up in the end. You've seen it against Buffalo.
God,
Buffalo showed some life.
Did you see how many times they showed him on the sideline last night in the Lakers game?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Nick
kept cutting to him.
Nick Nurse ran over and took a picture with him.
Who did?
Who went over there?
Nick Nurse. During the one break, he ran over and took a picture with him.
That's pretty cool.
Somebody on Twitter tweeted out the picture of him at the game, and they were like, "This guy needs a hater," and I'm just making myself that. He's like, "No one hates on this guy."
Who?
Jalen Hurts.
How can you hate on him?
I don't know.
It's the best story ever.
I mean, I'll hate on him just because he plays for the Eagles. So
he's gonna cash for that 12.
Meg can do that. So
I'll be the hater. I'll give the haterade. I absolutely am. So
You're a Washington fan, so it's understandable. Like, if he wasn't in your division, you wouldn't hate him.
Tyler, the question is.
But I love Dak. I love Dak. I actually love watching Dak.
Why?
That's the fantasy in you, is because Dak.
It's the same thing. It's like nothing like exceptional about him at all.
He is a very good quarterback that gets too much hate and slander.
But he's very good at like reading the defenses. It's not like watching like Mahomes or even like Zach Wilson makes like crazy stuff happen with his ability.
Did you just say Zach Wilson?
I'm just saying he's more fun to watch.
Oh my God.
It's like throwing sidearm and like,
Oh my God. Yes, we will have a lot of good material for Thursday, and we have to do a basketball recap Thursday.
One quick question, Meg. It's football related, just because I want to hear your take on this. We did this on Monday show.
Is this a
swap Josh Allen and Justin Herbert? Are the Chargers better or worse?
Swap Josh Allen, Justin Herbert.
Put Josh Allen on Chargers right now.
I think
they're worse because I think his turnovers just leave that defense on the field way too much.
I think they're I think they're better, but I think the Chargers are just screwed with injuries and coaching. So I think they're both screwed.
I mean, I think
put Josh Allen and or Herbert on other teams right now, maybe, and you'd get different results. So I think they're both. I don't know. I think Allen has to carry his team right now. I think Herbert is just, they're decimated with injuries and they got to get rid of Staley. So I don't know. I think both are kind of screwed what a wild world that we are going to have a playoffs most likely without the Bills, Chargers, and Bengals. Wild stuff this year.
This was the Bengals year too, looking at the AFC, if Burrow's elbow doesn't give out.
And they started shitty too with his calf injury too. That didn't help matters.
Now it's lining up for Kenny Pickett to go get it.
There we go. Kenny Pickett. Let's go.
Or is it going to be that guy from Compton Spread?
I love that guy. We cut another guy today.
Don't you ever disrespect that guy.
We cut another guy today. That's the type of leadership I'm talking about. You want to get a DUI? Bye-bye. That's leadership right there.
All right. Well, we're going to talk NFL basketball too. I have to ask, Spread, early look at NBA basketball. Is it trending in the right direction? I mean, I think
my NBA is better than my NFL.
Okay. Well, long way to go, but good start. That's good.
Before we jump on a little early. You got to teach me how to look at it. All I do is I look and I have so many entries. I just look at a couple teams and then I kind of, I don't know.
Are you talking about Underdog, DraftKings, or both?
On DraftKings, like I'll jump on, and I mean, it's like I have
DraftKings is harder.
between
Underdog's
NBA
user
and NFL, I
experience is
have
so much
more than
better.
150 teams.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I'll just look at a couple, and I'm like, oh, that one's all right. I'll look at like one of my first place teams and one of my last place teams, and that's about all I ever do.
Well, I obviously focus on like the ones that are currently advancing, and then ones that are close, like third or fourth. And
I
then
have so many of those even.
That's good. That's a good problem to have. That's a great
Yeah.
problem to have. So no, we'll talk NFL best ball a little bit because we have 2 more weeks left of regular season, and then it's playoffs. And then, as of after week 14, we'll know our advance rates to playoffs. So exciting times. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for the NBA betting card. Good luck tonight. For Spread for Tyler, I'm Meg, and we will see you on Thursday.